uh, your drawing paper isn't on the spotlight anymore.
Yeah. I know.
Mm.
Okay, is it going fine? Let me share it. Yeah. Just send the link, okay? This is a link that you'll share. Yes, you can send the link.
All the best.
Thank you. Ma, I'm not sure if Mukesh can hear me.
Okay.
So, அவனுக்கு text பண்ணிடுறியா? Asking him to
sure.
share that. Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. If you can, I need a confirmation from you if you can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. We'll be starting soon. Okay, I'm just waiting for some people also to join in. There are approximately 350 and probably more of participants who are really interested here. Okay, so I want to give them all a chance to get the link and join us. So a few more minutes and then we'll start. By the time that they come, you guys respond to me whether you can hear me or not. Okay. Okay, I know you guys are really excited. Okay, so I am Kritika. For all of those who know and all of those who don't know, I will be taking the workshop on Madhubani today. This is the day one of the 4-day long workshop series where we will be focusing on one different kind of art form every day. Okay, so most probably we'll try to finish it within 1 hour, but if it is going to go for more than that, then we'll see. Maximum by 7:30 we'll try to wind up, but for that I want all of you to be drawing along with me. And I believe that there are some concerns where you guys won't be able to show your work to me, right? So in that case, I'm always happy to respond to you if you are ready to show me your work using WhatsApp after the session is over. And if you want a more detailed workshop, if you want me to be correcting you as you do the work, if you want to do more different kinds of pieces in the same kind of art form, then we can always have a Zoom call with limited participants. So we'll be trying to accommodate 100 people at once. Okay, so this time it was more than 100 and our original plan to do this on Zoom was not possible. So that's why we shifted to doing this live through YouTube for all of you to see at the same time. Okay, so let me just say some general things that everyone needs to know. First thing, keep all your requirements around you in your workspace. Don't be running around in the last minute, and you will get plenty of time to keep everything ready. Okay, most preferably use a gel pen because it is much more authentic if you use a gel pen. Even better if you have a black ink pen, but I'm not sure how many of you have it. Okay, after this, I need to tell that whoever has paints with you, you can use it. But as we are doing, we will be only doing the basic template. Okay, we won't be getting into filling each of the patterns individually. We learn different designs and how to fill it, that we look later on depending on how much time we have. Okay, so I'm hoping that there are a good number of people already can Naglakshmi, can you confirm and tell me how many people are there?
Yeah, sure, Kritika.
Yeah. By the way, big thanks to the whole team that's coordinating with me. We have Mukesh on YouTube, we have Anthony in charge of coordinating, and we have Naglakshmi here on the Zoom call to make sure that all of your queries reaches me on time. Okay.
Kritika, there are 137 people on live right
One.
now. 137.
Okay. All right, I think that is plenty of time that we've given for them to catch up. Let's just we'll go slowly into the topic. I know that there are a lot of children watching, and I also know that there are a lot of adults also in this workshop. Okay, so we're going to go step by step and we're going to go slow, super slow. Okay, so starting off, I want to ask all of you a question. We haven't started drawing yet, so I expect all of you to respond to me in the comment section. Okay, what do you think is the difference between folk art and tribal art? Have you heard of these two before? Have you come across any other design other than the ones that we're doing in the workshop? Do you know that what we're doing today is folk art or is it tribal art? What is the difference? I'm waiting for your responses.
Valiamai says it's folk art.
Can you repeat that, Naglakshmi? I couldn't catch you.
Valiamai here says it's folk art. Tribal art means Warli art.
Okay, that's great. That is actually the perfect example for folk art and tribal art. But what exactly is the difference between calling something folk art and calling something tribal art?
Vashini Karthikeyan says that tribal art does not consist of colors of any sort.
Okay, all right. But I can tell you some examples of tribal art. Okay, I want you to search this, write it down somewhere perhaps, and search it. Okay, GOND, Gond art. That is a tribal art, and that has plenty of colors. So you might be thinking of Varli.
Yes, they
Any
do.
other responses?
They're saying that tribal art form is done by people living in forest area.
Tribal art form is done by?
People living in forest area.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for responding. Okay. So folk art is actually a method of art. Okay. It is a method of painting. The technique is called folk art. Okay. So when I say Madhubani, it is actually a technique of painting. It is a technique of drawing and painting. Okay. So that is folk art. Tribal art is mostly named after the tribe or the community that was the origin of that particular art. Okay. Madhubani, with respect to this workshop, Madhubani, if you split it, it means Madhu means sweet, Bani is from Van, which means forest. Okay, so it is given this name because all of the art forms that you see in Madhubani are explicitly representation of a forest, representation of nature, and there are a lot of elements of religion and culture. Okay, that is why Madhubani is extremely special when we talk of folk art. you probably would have come across a lot of products, maybe clothes, maybe wall hangings, and so on. But Madhubani paintings originally were done on the walls and on the floors of mud houses. Okay, and it was done by the women of the house. It was passed on as a tradition from mother to daughter. Okay, and recently, because of a revolution, they started painting Madhubani on trees so that no one cuts it. Okay, so that is the speciality, history, origin of Madhubani. So let's get into the art form itself. Okay, what I'm going to show now is I'm going to show you some different examples of Madhubani art. Okay, and we will point out all of the key features that is there in Madhubani. Okay, so I'm just going to present that now. Okay, so we have different folk arts of India. Madhubani is over here. Okay, it originates from Bihar and it is the pride of Mithila. Okay, it is said that it was started at the ages of Ramayana when Ram was supposed to marry Sita. Okay, that is just extra information. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some simple examples of Madhubani. Okay, so this is fairly simple. And the biggest feature that you see in Madhubani would be the double lines. You will see that the lotus flowers over here, they all have double lines. Okay, the border will have double lines, and you will see that there is alternation between black and white and color. It's not entirely color, it's not entirely black and white, right? So finding that balance is what makes this painting unique. Okay, so at one point of time, people used to use a stick and they used to wrap some cloth around it and they used to draw. So when they drew like that, each line would come out as double. Okay, and that is why you can see that even today, when people draw in Madhubani style, they will always make sure that there is a double line border. Okay, I'm talking about these double lines, which is unique to Madhubani. Okay, so let's look at the next example. It looks very complicated, but the main feature here that I would say is its floral patterns. Okay, all of the floral patterns over here, there are different kinds of flowers all over this picture, right? And that is one speciality of Madhubani. Okay, like I told, Madhubani includes a lot of the nature and its elements, right? So flowers and floral designs is an important part of Madhubani. Next, if you look at these two, you've got a male depiction and a female depiction. And you can see that their body figures are not exactly correct. A lot of you have experience in drawing people. I've seen a lot of your portraits that you were sharing in the WhatsApp group the other day. So impressed. Good job. Keep that up. But it is extremely hard to draw something out of proportion on purpose. Right? So if you look at this, you will see that the eyes will be bulging and fish-like. And that will take up a lot of that space. And the nose is almost always pointed. The body proportion is going to be odd. And the entire thing is a depiction in 2D. So there is no 3D structure, there is no giving depth to it, nothing like that. Fairly straightforward 2D body figures. Okay, so in these you will be able to see the eyes, like I was saying, is one of the major Madhubani traits. So the minute you look at a picture, you should be able to identify whether it is Madhubani or it is something else. And the key feature here is the eyes. Okay, anything that is human or humanized, if it is the sun god, for example, sun god over here is not exactly drawn as a human, but the eyes are fish-like. Okay, so let's go through the key features one more time. Okay, this is one artwork that I had done long back, and this is primarily a Madhubani work because it has double lines, it has a lot of floral patterns, and the colors also are not limited. The body figures is extremely abstract. Okay, you will not be drawing everything in exact proportion, and that is absolutely okay. You have the freedom to do that. Last but not the least, you have the bulging eyes. That is key in Madhubani artwork. Okay, so that is all of the key elements. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to draw. I want all of you to get ready with all of your requirements, namely a pencil and a paper. Okay, I hope you're ready. Anthony, what is it?
It says, can you please saw? I guess it's there. Can you please give a form which is done by a particular caste?
Particular caste? Yes, there are 5 different types of Madhubani paintings, okay? And it is said that 3 of those 5 kinds of paintings was done by upper class women. Okay, and there is a saying that the lower caste woman usually used to depict nature, and the upper caste women used to depict uh, gods and goddesses and that kind of stuff. So yes, there was some kind of difference between the women who drew it, and depending on that style, there were 5 different types. Okay. Out of that, I can like recall 3 of them. One is Tantric, and one is Kachni, okay, and one is Kobar. That is the information I can give to you right now. After this session, probably we'll talk about that in detail, okay? All right, so let's get on to drawing. What we're going to do now is we're going to draw some basic elements of Madhubani, okay? And then we're going to do an entire piece. For this, you will not be requiring any paints. I hope everyone can see the screen with the paper in it. There's nothing moving right now, okay? I hope you see the pen now. Anthony, is that okay?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, great. All right, Naglakshmi, I want you to take over from now because I won't be seeing the screen, okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, guys, so it's time to draw. What we're going to do first is what I was talking about. We were talking about floral designs, right? So that's what we will start now, okay? I will be using a ball pen for this video. You use whatever black pen you have, or if you are not that confident, you can always use a pencil. That's all right. The simplest kind of flower, which is simple to draw, but it looks very sophisticated, is the lotus. Okay, and lotus is a recurring theme in all of these paintings. Okay, So I'm going to do that on one side of this paper. Okay, the first thing that you should do is you should draw a leaf-like structure. Okay, and then remember Madhubani is all about doing two lines. Okay, so you will have to make sure that you draw two lines. Then approximately take two equal points on either side. Okay, and then draw your next set of petals. It is fine if you are not, what do you say, doing this very symmetrically. Okay, traditionally it is done with black ink. What they do is they have these pens, okay, something like calligraphy pens. And using that calligraphy pen, they make their outline. Since it is done directly using a pen, all the artists are fairly confident with all of their strokes. So even if it is at an odd angle, that actually adds certain beauty and makes every sketch unique. Don't worry about not keeping up with proportions. Okay. As a general rule, when flowers are drawn in Madhubani, what
Kritika,
they do, yeah,
they are saying that your voice isn't audible.
okay. Let me just check that. Give me a moment. How about now?
That's when you're drawing on the sheet, your voice is a bit
Yeah,
low.
yeah, got that. Now I'm on earphones, okay? So
Yeah.
I'll take that with me and you should probably be able to hear me better. Let me just. Okay, I'm drawing now. Can you hear me? Confirm for me, okay? I'll just continue drawing. Guys, can you hear me now?
You say now it's fine.
Is it better? I'm using the microphone now, okay?
Yeah, now it's clear. You can continue.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so like I was saying, in most floral patterns in Madhubani, you will see that they're trying to balance between black and white and color. Okay, so let's just finish off this flower. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw.
Kritika,
Yeah,
they're asking you to adjust the position. The shadow is falling over the sheet and they can't see it properly.
thing is when I draw, that's what is going to happen. Wait. Okay, this is going to be a little sideways, okay, but I'm doing this so it is closer to you. The shadow, I can't really help much of it, okay? But when I take my hand off, you should be able to see, right?
So if you see in this floral pattern, we won't be coloring the entire thing, right? We're just coloring a little bit of it. And that is how Madhubani works. You will be coloring only parts of it. And now see, it looks very sophisticated. Okay, so I'm just going to continue with another kind of flower.
Kritika,
Okay, yeah,
they want you to zoom in on it a little more.
I cannot zoom in on it
Yeah,
without it.
just adjust the paper. Adjust the paper. I guess now it will be better. Yeah.
See, if I zoom in like that, no, it'll go in and out of focus. That is the problem. Okay, we'll give this a try anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go to a fresh area now. The most common filler that you will see, you see it's going out of focus.
They want to know what kind of colors you're using.
Okay, these are actually brush pens. Okay, so that's what I'm using over here. You can use whatever colors you want, but these are extremely useful, especially when you want to fill a big space but you don't have the patience to sit and paint it. And in that case, you can just use a brush pen. Okay, you get a set of 6 colors and then you also get a set of 12 colors. Okay, so this kind of flower that is there, this is used most commonly in places where they want to fill space. Okay, another filler kind of flower that I can show you right now. All of the conventional flowers that we've learned so far is going to be having equal sized petals, and it's going to be having a proper, the center portion will have like pollen and all that. But here, for the sake of this design, just this much is required. That's it. And we're done. Now you can give this entire thing an outline, okay, and you can fill each of the petals with a color. Okay, that also is a possibility. So we'll look at one more kind of flower, okay, a little more complicated, but we'll go step by step. Okay, so first draw a nose. Okay, imagine this is the nose and these are the eyebrows. Okay, now at the center, draw one petal and then join it to the corners. Okay, so now you can fill this up with designs. There are a lot of people who are used to doing mandala designs, and there are a lot of people who are really good at doodling. So this is your area. You can fill space with black and white. Okay, and then you can leave some space for color as well. Okay, after this, what we do is we're going to draw a sun as if it is at the horizon. Okay, after this, we're going to draw one central petal, and from there onwards, we're going to draw the rest of them. Okay. I'm doing it on one side. Now, as I'm finishing it, now let's move on to the other side. Okay, and let's finish it off. And that is a fairly sophisticated flower. So if you are doing an individual Madhubani piece, right, what you would do is you would take a sheet and then you would probably draw lines as the border, which we'll get into pretty soon. Okay, after that, you can draw one flower here. You can draw one flower here. And these small ones you can draw here. And you can fill the space like that. Okay, so we're done with the floral designs for now. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at trees. And for the sake of drawing a tree, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to draw different trees and all. Okay, so I'm just going to show you one tree with different branches. In Madhubani, when you draw, let's say a branch, let's just roughly draw a branch here, okay? So let's say this is the branch. All the branches in Madhubani trees will end like this with a tapering end, okay? And another key feature in Madhubani trees is that we're going to have bands on them. Okay, I'll color the last flower. We'll come back to that. Okay, I will draw all of the templates that we need to learn. And then if time permits, we'll sit down to coloring each of them. Okay, so generally this is how your Madhubani branch would look like. Okay, you can make it as straight or as curved as possible. Okay, one way of drawing the end over here is to draw a simple flower. The whole point in doing Madhubani trees is not to make it look like it is some 3D picture of some forest or something. This is the essence of the tree. It doesn't need to have all the details that you would normally draw if you were doing maybe watercolors or something. But we don't need that in Madhubani. The trees can come off with leaves like this. And that is the freedom that you have in Madhubani. You don't have to draw twigs. You don't have to be precise. You can be spontaneous. Okay, so imagine an entire sheet, okay, and the top portion is just this. Okay, only then you'll be able to visualize what is it that I'm trying to say. If you do want to give it a touch of perhaps your doodling, why would we need the band on the branches? It's just the uniqueness and the uniformity that is there in the leaves. Okay. There's no reason as to why we do something. It's more like us wearing uniform, right? To identify that this is Madhubani, we have some certain characters. Among that, just like how I told you about the eyes and the body figure and all that, right? Just like that, we have trees and the bands that is there on the trees. You can of course draw a Madhubani painting without drawing any of these bands, okay? There is no hard and fast rule. And I hope that answers your question. Okay, so we're done with one kind of branches. So now let's look at another type. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a lot more. Let me just draw all the bands. Okay, now that's done. Here you saw that we did a fairly broad leaf. We divided it into two and then we shaded one part of it. Okay, I can also have minute little leaves, very tiny, tiny, pretty ones. Okay, or I could have long tapering ones. This, when you color, it will be better. And let's try one more.
Kritika,
Yeah,
they want to know that do the filler lines have to be in one direction only?
in the band. I
Yes.
assume it's in the band. Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Again, that freedom you have. Okay, I was just doing it in the same direction as the branch. You can, of course, do it this way. There's no, again, I'm saying there's no rule, first of all, to put the branch. And if you do, you have total freedom to play with it. Okay, I hope that answers that question. Okay, and oftentimes what happens is, like you see here, we have a lot of space between these branches and we can't fill it with leaves here. Okay, in that case, what they do is they fill it up like that. And like I'm telling you, the entire concept of Madhubani is extremely abstract. Okay, so don't go around and be like, okay, how can a flower come in between like that? Or how is that there is leaves like this and there is leaves like this? Don't think too much when it comes to following whatever rules we have. Since you asked for coloring, I'm doing it along with the design here. But typically, it is best to finish your entire drawing and then sit down to coloring it, okay?
Kritika.
Yeah.
They want to know if the lines we put it on the leaves, they should be in one direction or both.
Hmm. I suppose you're asking about these. No, you can alternate them also, and you can also, this free space that is there, you can fill that with green. You can maybe, if we have leaves like this, let's say, okay, and I'm going to divide it in half. I can shade this and this in opposite directions, doesn't matter. Whatever looks fine to you, you can go ahead and do it. Okay, this is just a method in which you can draw or fill the space. You don't need to stick to it word by word. Okay, there is another way that you can fill. Let's imagine that I didn't draw it like this. Okay, let's imagine that this is more curved. If it is a curved branch like that, a little heart over there, and you can draw your leaves. Okay, but this you cannot do when there is huge space between branches. Okay, imagine you drew a tree. Okay, imagine you drew a tree, and then you have, these are your branches. Okay, and imagine these are the ends of the tree. You have so many of them. Okay, so here you can draw all your leaves, and here you can draw your little heart flowers. Okay, it's up to you. However abstract you want to go, you can go. Okay, so that is about trees, and we have done flowers. So we've done a good portion of nature elements. Okay, so now let's move on to one more concept, which is birds. Okay, we'll be doing birds, and at the very last, we will try drawing a human face. Okay, if you are all beginner level at drawing Madhubani, I would recommend you to practice a lot with nature elements first, and then I would recommend that you go to humans, because we are all so used to drawing humans in a certain proportion, right? So suddenly if you have to draw a human face purposely out of proportion, it goes against all of the mindset that you have as an artist. Okay, so take some time out and practice doing that um, out of context, and then you can come and you can try your hand at drawing human faces. Okay, so all right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a template to draw a bird, and how you will fill that bird with what patterns, with what colors, that is totally up to you. Okay, so here goes. The first thing that you need to do is you need to draw a circle. This circle is going to represent the head of the bird. Okay, and like I said, in all Madhubani art we will use a double line. Okay, um, you can give it an eye. In this case, this is a bird, not a human, so it is okay if you use a circular eye. Okay, oops. Okay, so the next thing that we do is we will draw the body. Okay, to draw the body, what we're going to do is we're going to take any 2 points on the head, and we're going to draw its back and its front. All your intuition will be screaming right now because the bird is not in proportion, that is not the shape, that is not the size. Trust me, it's very troubling the first few times. Which previous image would you like to see?
I guess it is the sheet that you have drawn with trees and flowers.
I think it's this one that you're asking for. Is that fine? I recommend whoever that is, try taking a screenshot or something, okay? Because, like I said, we started at 6 and we were supposed to end it by 7. But if you guys are interested, we can go on forward. I don't mind. But I have asked only 1 hour of your time. Okay, I hope that is okay. Now I'm going to change and go back to this bird. Okay, all right. So, like I was saying, all your intuition must be screaming because you're doing this out of proportion on purpose. And it's very disturbing the very first few times that you do it. But once you see the finished work, it'll be worth it. Okay, so now this bird, let's say I'm going to make this a parrot. Okay, and the key feature in a parrot is its beak. Okay, so is its beak and its tail, right? So we'll do that. Let's draw its beak. Okay, and its tail. It looks a little like a penguin, I know, but have patience with me and give this a try. Okay, so double line everywhere, especially when you have a template like this. The first thing that you should do is prepare all of the double lines everywhere, and then you can sit and complete it with your doodles. I'm going to have the tail feathers a little longer. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some design. Let's just say it has a pretty pattern at its neck and its folded wing, which I'll draw like this. Okay, uh, I'm going to make the eye this big. Okay, shall we draw feet or not? I think I'm going to go ahead and draw a feet, triangle, a line. Okay, everything that we draw is a two-dimensional view of whatever we're doing. Okay, so you don't have to worry about being like, why is the leg over here? Isn't it supposed to be a little behind? Or is it supposed to be longer? Okay, what happened to the other leg? Leave all that, and um, now what we're going to do is we're going to try and fill a little bit more details to this template. When you fill in designs like this into your template, right? So what you should focus on is you should decide which of this region is going to be in color and which is going to be in black and white. Okay, now if I decide that this is going to be in black and white and these triangles are going to be in color. Okay, so I'm going to fill that space. Now, once I filled this area with black and white, you will not take any color to that place. Okay, this is done. That's it. You won't be touching that area anymore. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me give this beak an outline. And if you noticed, we're directly drawing in pen. And like I said, if you're not comfortable with that, if you want to practice a little more before you get into doing it with pen, you can always do it with pencil. Here I decided to fill only two of these sections with black and white, and I left the in-between sections. That is where I will bring in my color. Okay, wherever I have done this design thing, don't touch it with color. Okay, so let's do something for the tail feather here. This one in particular. I'm going to Now you might be thinking, why is it that everywhere I fill space, I'm doing straight lines? This is actually the easiest way to fill space without putting a lot of effort. Now, what happens when you fill a space with, scale like pattern is that you have to maintain its size. Once you go out of proportion, it is very obvious. Okay, that is why I'm sticking with straight lines everywhere. It isn't necessary, it is not a rule. Whatever is easy and quick for you, you can do it. Okay, so I'm going to leave this template like this. If you're drawing along with me, you guys decide what colors to fill and where. You guys decide what patterns you'll come up with, and then you will show me, because I want to see how is it that you're seeing this design. We'll do one more bird template, and then we'll move on to human face. Okay, so for this bird template, we're going to try a peacock-like design. This is again something that is recurring. It keeps repeating in Madhubani designs. Okay, and another thing that I want to bring to your attention is that the peacock in Madhubani here, which I'm going to be drawing now, is extremely different from the peacock that is drawn in Kalamkari. Okay, so to find out why, you guys come tomorrow also, and let's learn Kalamkari together, and you will be able to understand how unique Madhubani is when you compare it with another art form. Okay, so that was about Kalamkari. So let's do the peacock. Okay, so let's roughly start with its head. I won't be drawing a circle this time. I'll be drawing a half circle. Okay, and I'm going to drag this down to the body, and I'm going to give it a slender neck, and I'm going to stop here. Now I'm going to draw its body, that is its folded wing, right? So I'm going to give like a tear. Okay, so like a water drop, like a ulta water drop. Okay, like we did with flowers, we'll be doing the exact same thing here. Okay, imagine this is the petal. What do you do to add petal? You draw half petal right next to it, right? So we'll be doing the same thing. We'll draw a half petal from here and join it. Okay, let's draw the tail feather now from the junction of these two. Okay, that's going to be slightly longer, but we're going to maintain that leaf shape. Okay, and again, if this is the central petal, what do? You complete it, right? So let's complete it. Okay, so now when I draw the beak here, And for this sake, I'm going to be drawing the Madhubani special eye, which is the fish-shaped eye. Okay, and since I feel like it, let's give the crown. Okay, so imagine now this is just a template. Okay, so with this template, you can actually play around a lot. How? You can, let's just say that, imagine this is at the base of your paper. Okay, you have so much of space, right? So you could, let me take a different pencil or something. So I'll tell. Okay, so imagine that this peacock has spread its feathers. Okay, so in that case, what you will do is you will edit this portion. You will not draw this. Instead of this, you will draw a tree-like shape behind it. Okay, or you will start a line from this abdomen of this bird and you will take an entire circle and come back here. Okay, even still, okay, what we're going to do in this particular template, since I've already drawn the tail feathers, I'm going to be drawing another wing over here. Okay, in Madhubani, it is very common to find even fish in place of its fins, no? You will see that there is a lot of feathers on the fish. So it is absolutely normal for this peacock to be having 3 sets of wings like this. Okay. And you can give this the Madhubani special double border. And you can maintain it for the entire bird. If you feel like it, you can even give the tip some designs here. Okay. Like little bells are hanging off of it. But that is totally up to you. Okay, so let's try and give this a double border as well.
Kritika,
Yes.
they want you to draw all kinds of feathers and show it to them.
Okay, fine. Uh, if I draw it, it's going to overlap. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take different colors and I'm going to highlight what they are. Okay, imagine this portion is not there. Okay, imagine it's only this portion and these two. Okay, so in that case, one possibility is to have the wing like this, and it will have a double border. Okay, and what you have to do in this case is you have to radially divide it, which means you divide it in sections like this. This shape also you can change. You can make it like this, right? So that is up to you. Okay, for the sake of an example, I'm just going to stick with this. Okay, let's imagine that there is a central line for each of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give feather detailing to each of them. Okay, these ones will get hidden here, so you'll have to do incomplete circles. Okay, and I told you, no, imagine a line, now draw it for real. Okay, now what you can do is, it is a feather, right? So you can fill space like this. Like a typical feather. And since we're drawing a peacock, you will want your feather to be like this, pointed here. It should be your central feather. The pencil that I'm using a blunt pencil, but you guys please use a sharp one. Otherwise, it won't be like the stroke will come out thicker than you expect. Here I'm using this pencil because you asked me to show you the way. Okay, so this thing you will maintain throughout for each section. Okay, and that is one kind. Now let's look at another kind, which is going to be similar to this pattern, but instead of just restricting here, what I'll do is I'll take a full circle. Let me lift it up for you. Okay, so since this thing is coming in the way, I can't show you, but imagine this whole thing is in a circle and the bird is at the base of that circle. Okay, now this red thing is not there, imagine. So what you do, you will do the exact same pattern like you did here, but over here. So that will look like this. Okay, you will have the feather detailing in each section. Then you will draw the central line. And then you will draw the feathers. Okay, I hope that was fine. Okay, these are just three different kinds. So this is one, and this is one. Here also, if you want to maintain the same pattern, you can repeat it here. But I'm trying to tell you is that with one template and one design, you can have varying kinds of birds, right? And you don't even need to think too much about it. And that's the best part about doing Madhubani. Okay, so it's already 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roughly show you a human face. Okay, and then what I'm going to show you is some of the sketches that I did, and I want you to see and identify different elements in it. Okay, so we'll go to that a little later. Now let's do a human face. Okay, let's just say that we have our space here. Okay, now this entire, they want me to draw a fish. Okay, let me just finish this human since I started it. Okay, or you know what, fine, let's draw a fish, but I'm not going to draw the conventional Madhubani fish that we see everywhere, because a Madhubani fish is basically you drawing a circle. Okay, and imagine that there is a fish, and that is the tail, and that's pretty much all that is there for a fish. Fish is actually the simplest template. Like birds, you can have one standard template and work your way around it. Okay, maybe you can make this a little, um, what do you say, curved. Okay, and let me finish this tail with straight lines. Most often, the fish will be inside a circle. Okay, don't ask me why, but that's how it is. Most designs that you see, you'll see a fish inside a circle. Um, there is often a border design also. Imagine this is the border of something, a portion of the border. Okay, so here also you will be able to find some fish. And the best thing about this is that one fish will not end in a tail. It'll actually start with the next fish's face. Super abstract concepts. And then you have the next fish's face.
Ritika,
Yeah.
they want to know what brand of color pencils you're using.
I'm actually using watercolor pencils. Okay. And I've got one Camlin and I've got Faber Castles. I just use both of them. I don't have a preference, but I find that when I use Camlin watercolor pencils, they are smoother. There is a lot of retention. So when I make a stroke, a lot of the color from the pencil will go to the paper. But when I use a Faber Castell, not much of it. So when I dilute it and paint it with water, a Camlin blends better than Faber Castell. Okay, so I drew fish because you asked me to, but let me tell you that finding fish templates is the first thing that you will find when you go online and search for Madhubani. Okay, so whoever asked me to draw fish, uh, you guys go and you guys search and tell me if you find any fish that is outside a circle. Most of the time, it'll be inside a circle. Okay, so you guys find that out for me. And now we will um, take a face. Okay, and warning to all of you artists who have drawn portraits before, okay, and you are used to pencil shading. Okay, warning to all of you guys, this is going to be something out of the ordinary. Okay, because the first thing that you do when you start drawing a face is the nose, which is super pointed, and it literally comes out of the picture. Okay, so once you draw the nose, we go for the lips. Now, with the structure of the lips, you can identify if it's a male or a female. How we do that is you have the lips that you draw. If you leave it like this, most of the time, it's male. Okay, and if you complete the whole thing, then it's a female. The logic behind this is that if I complete it like this, I can color the inside with red, right? I'll have a closed space to color. And if I color her lips red, then it's a woman. Okay, so that was about the face. Now let's look at the back. I mean, the back of the head. Okay, I'm going, like I've already joined the lips over here. So I guess we're drawing a woman now. Okay, so the first thing that I will do is not her hair. I will not focus on her hair. I will focus on her forehead. Okay, so I'm going to focus on her forehead, and let's say she's wearing a headdress. Okay, she's wearing some ornaments on her forehead. So I'm going to draw that as a design. Totally random, doesn't matter how or what you do. And I'm going to bring that down towards her ear, but I won't draw her ear. Oh, that is one more thing. We won't be drawing ears, okay? In Madhubani, most of the time we use flowers or semicircle designs. Okay, here her ear is represented by her earring. We don't draw her ear. Okay, so let's say she's wearing a teardrop like earring, and to that there is, let's say, like a flower detail thing. Okay, and this is the curl of her hair. Okay, so now let's draw the back of her head. Now what we're going to do is, they're all flat headed, by the way. All the drawings in Madhubani, if you see, their heads are super flat. Okay, and I'm going to draw an additional design over here. And this represents the flower that is kept behind her ear. Okay, like in her hair. So her hair is actually not continuous, it stops there. Okay, now I'm going to come back to her chin, not prominent as such. We'll have her neck going in, and then we'll have her shoulders ending in her hand. Okay, so I'm going to get her probably where, okay, and just wait for a while I finish this, because it won't be making sense to you. Okay, like I said, we work very abstract in these kind of human drawings. Okay, so I'm going to give her a twig to hold. Okay, so I'm going to draw her hand like that. Remember, we don't care about sizes, we don't care about proportions. She's holding a twig, guys, okay? It doesn't look like she's holding on, like she's not holding it like this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to fill the space up with some leaves. Okay, So that is usually the women will have a nose pin. If you want to add any other details, you can do that. You don't have to bother and be like, where is her other hand and all. You can cover that up with probably a bird or some tree coming from there. Okay, and if it's a tree, then you can have the branches falling like this with the leaves filling the space here. Okay, so that is one way to draw a human figure. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop drawing and I'm going to show you one whole Madhubani picture.
Kritika, before that, can you please show them the parrot you have drawn already?
Okay, let's see where the parrot is. Okay, yeah, this one, right?
Yes.
Okay, shall I move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So now let me just show you one complete Madhubani picture. Okay, here it is complete with the borders, and the border detailing is very simple, right? It's a zigzag line, and we've made a space in between the zigzag lines. We have two of them, and we have done the same kind of filling throughout. Okay, you can also fill this way, like vertically, so it is different from the picture. How I started this is by first drawing the fish double line. Then I drew the fins all in double line. Then I drew the bird head and I brought its body to its mouth. Then I drew one more little bird, okay, but in the opposite direction. And what I did was, this is a template for a peacock, like I told you before. Peacocks and swans are drawn like this mostly. Okay. So I drew peacock, so now I have to have lots of feathers, right? So I decided to use the background as the entire feather section. Okay, this is only the template. When I'm filling it, I will probably uh, draw something else. I would probably give it some detailing like this, and then draw like swirls, and I would probably fill it like that. Okay, so if I do this, then I will not be able to fill color into this. I will be able to fill color only in this section here. Okay, same thing here. Everywhere that you do a design like this, remember, you should never touch that area with color. Okay, just leave it as it is. Okay, and then one more thing, when I finished drawing all the petals, complete petal-like structure for feathers, I had a gap between the border and the actual design. And I decided to fill that with straight lines. Okay, so if you are doing, so this is actually an overlapping drawing, right, Naglakshmi?
Yes.
Yeah, you had.
Kritika, they want you to show the lady again, and also the peacock drawing that you have drawn now.
Okay, all right. So let me finish this and then I'll keep that whole sheet for you to view, and you can draw all of that. Okay, so here I'll just finish explaining how is it that we have all of these elements and how to overlap them. Okay, so if I drew 2, 3 fishes like this, overlapping each other, then at the background, I probably would have drawn dotted lines, okay, to indicate water. Or if I had drawn probably a tree, then I would fill the entire place with one color. I would actually fill it with green first, and then I would take my pen and then I would draw leaves inside that section. Okay, so these are different techniques to fill space, because in a Madhubani painting, most often you find the entire picture having a design. It doesn't matter what design, it just needs to be there. Okay, because the whole space needs to be utilized by the artist. Okay, this is one example that I wanted to show and explain. This is another one. When you draw an entire Madhubani picture, right, the frame should come inside, whereas here I threw the frame outside, right? So the frame and the edge of the paper is the same thing. Here it's not. Okay, in traditional forms of this, you will see that the border is inside the paper. Okay, there is some space between the edge of the paper and the frame. You will usually have the central object inside here, and from it you will have all of these elements. Okay, otherwise you will have the base portion. This portion will have the main object. Like in the presentation that I showed you before we started, you would have seen that there is a lady sitting at the bottom and the tree branches are at the top. So the main object is actually towards the bottom. Similarly, if you were to draw an animal, let's say an elephant or a cow or something like that, the main object will come at the bottom and the whole space on top will be completely just leaves. Okay, so again over there, when you see, the entire space will be occupied by some design. If it is not, then you can at least draw like some small circles like that and fill the space. Okay, this is just an example. Now I will show you the previous um, templates that we drew, that is of the peacock and the lady. Okay, so we're almost coming to an end. Okay, we have 10 more minutes. So Naglakshmi, can you make sure that they get the feedback form link?
Yeah, sure, Kritika.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And Kritika, they want to see some more of your artworks that you have done already.
Specifically Madhubani, is it?
Yes.
Okay, some of them are actually framed and some of them are on the wall. I'll have to like remove them. You know what? You guys reach out to me and show me your drawings and I'll show you mine. Okay, I'm sure that most of you have already connected with me on WhatsApp. So I will send a couple of my work over there. Okay, but yeah, so in all of my Madhubani, and even if you search around, if you do a Google search or you go to Pinterest and you see Madhubani pictures, what you'll see over there is they have modern adaptations of this. So here she is holding a twig, right? So if I was to do a modern adaptation of this, I will probably have her holding a phone and she's wearing headphones or something. Okay, but I'm maintaining the entire design. I'm giving her all of this headdress and nose pin and eyes, the jewelry, everything I'm maintaining. Her clothes, designs, everything. But I'm giving her a phone and headphones. So there are a lot of artists who are playing around with using conventional art, and they do it only so they can create awareness and be like, you know what, we have an Indian art over here and we want it to be noticed. So they're trying to adapt it with time, and I find that pretty cool. So if I find all of that, I will definitely share it with you guys. If you don't know that there is a WhatsApp group that is made, and it has a huge collection of fellow artists. and we are all going to be using that platform to share artwork with each other and learn together. So that is what I'm talking about. For those who don't know, that is where I will be sharing my work also. So yeah, I guess that answers your question.
Kritika,
Yes.
can you please show them the tree that you have drawn?
Yep. Just a minute. Wait, I'm actually holding this. I might as well. Yeah.
Kritika,
Yes.
there is a question that says that do you draw the eyebrows when you're drawing a human face?
Yes, you do. When you draw it for birds, you don't. Okay. For example, just a minute, guys. Let me show you. Okay. When I drew the eye over here, I did not give eyebrows to the bird. But when you draw people, you will be drawing eyebrows. The eyebrows will be almost in line with the eye, right? So you won't be able to notice that much of it. But yes, it's there. Okay, guys, that is pretty much all that there is. Please make sure you get the link for the feedback. Okay, I want to know what you thought about this workshop. This is the first time we're going at this scale, right? So I want to know because I'm sure there is a lot of things for me to improve. And only if you guys tell me, I will be able to know. So make sure that you use the link and give us your feedback. Okay, and a couple of announcements. Tomorrow we'll be doing kalamkari, but in the kalamkari, like today, we won't be doing it like today. Today we learned a lot of different things and we learned to put it all together. Okay, but in the case of tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to do an entire piece from start to finish. We'll be doing it together. Okay. Um, So you'll need to be having any one color, probably blue or probably red. Try to have it in a pencil or a pen, like you can have a red gel pen and you can have red paint. Okay. And then I also want you to have a black pen, ball pen or gel pen, doesn't matter. Whichever you're comfortable with and whichever doesn't get stuck, you can use that. Okay, we'll make sure that you get all of your um, feedback through the feedback form, so make sure you fill it. If you know someone who attended it and left midway, if they left somewhere in between, okay, all those people, make sure that you reach them also with the feedback form. Okay. um, Let me see if I can probably give you the feedback form in the video description. Okay, you should probably find it in the video description now. So please make sure you fill it. And if you want to go more in detail, if you want to continue going forward, and if you want to probably do an entire Madhubani piece from start to finish, then we can arrange for that. But we will probably have to limit the numbers. Okay. So if you want it, make sure that you let me know either as a comment here, or you can reach out to me in the feedback form, or you can take my number. Okay. That's all we have for Madhubani, guys. Thank you so much for coming. It's right on time, 7:30, so we'll stop now. And I hope you really enjoyed this. Fill the feedback form for me, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for Kalamkari. Bring your friends, bring your relatives, bring your neighbors, bring everybody, and let's all draw together. Thank you so much for coming.
Kritika, they want to know if you could share your works of Madhubani on the WhatsApp group.
On the WhatsApp group. Yeah, that's what I said. Towards the end of this workshop, I'll probably search some more templates for you. So I'll be providing you with a lot more material. But for that, you guys need to be coming to the workshops also. Okay. You guys have to come for Kalamkari tomorrow, and you guys have to stay for all the 4 days, because you'll be able to differentiate them better, and you will be able to recognize the minute you see an artwork. You will be able to recognize whether it is Madhubani or Kalamkari or whatever.
I guess you can stop the live.
Yeah, I think I'll stop now.